Well, I just watched Dan Brubaker's excellent response to Yasir Qadhi, which means we now all three have responded. And I think that's all we need to do. We don't need to go any further than that. I responded almost immediately when it came out Thanksgiving Day back on November the 26th. David Wood did so almost immediately. Well, within 1 or 2 days, he had his response. So Dan Brubaker did it that weekend, I think, and then he just said that was just a 2 or 3 minute soundbite where he says he's going to be more expansive, and that's what he's done now with this one. So he has now responded to Yasir Qadhi, but he wasn't just responding to that meltdown of Yasir Qadhi's back on Thanksgiving Day. He's responding to the subsequent email that he got from Yasir Qadhi that I have here. And I was just fascinating because when you look at this email that he unpacked so well, Dan Brubaker unpacked so well, I just don't know where Yasir Qadhi is coming from him, and he's just giving us gift after gift after gift. The more he opens his mouth, the more he actually puts his foot into it. Open mouth, swallow foot. References like this: you seem to be agenda driven. And then his last line: I can't respect a person, referring to Dan Brubaker, who uses the academy, and that means he uses his academic credentials and pursuit, to pursue an agenda of conversion and proselytization. Help me here, help me. Now, Dan didn't say too much about that, but I would like to say, where do you find any idea of proselytization or any agenda driven in this book? There's nothing about the gospel here. There's nothing about conversion or proselytizing. This is an academic book. Where do you find that in any of his videos? The videos that he put up on Early Qur'an. Help me here, because I don't see it. That's the one accusation you can't say about Dan. Me, yes. Yes, I'm very clear that I want to proselytize. I'm very clear that I want to bring people to God and to bring them home. I've said that many times. It's one of my favorite phrases. I want to bring them home. I want to take them the Quran back to the Bible. I want to take them from Allah back to Yahweh. That's my agenda, and you can certainly claim that of me. Call me an Islamophobe. You can even claim that of me. And I've been called an Islamophobe so long and for so many years that as soon as it came out, it was introduced in Britain, I was one of the first that was called it. If anything, that would make sense. But not Dan Brubaker, not Dan Brubaker. This would be the last man that I would call an Islamophobe, or he's not saying so, he's saying really he's spoon-feeding Islamophobes. And he says that, Yasir Qadhi says that he finds it repugnant that you are spoon-feeding well-known Islamophobes, and he's referring to David and myself. We are the Islamophobes, which he is correct on that, if you want to give us that title. But spoon-feeding us? We're not being spoon-fed. I watch the same videos that you watch. I read the same book that you have read. That's where we get it from. I run from it, I take it, and I use it. Al-Fadi and I have gone through and unpacked this. We've done serial after episode on this book. That's not spoon-feeding us. We're coming to our own conclusions, just as you can come to your own conclusions. I wish Yasir Qadhi would have done a little better job of looking at the book and actually engaging with it, rather than just attacking Dan Brubaker and his supposed spoon-feeding of us. This idea also that could somehow somebody, that if they because they are Christians, therefore they must be using this for conversion and proselytism. If that is the case, isn't that something that he does as well? Doesn't Yasir Qadhi also engage in dawah? Dawah is the word that would be for evangelism. So I went up onto his site, and I just looked at his site real quickly, and you can see I just picked up 2 lectures. One he just did back on July 9th, almost exactly a month after that disastrous interview that he had with Muhammad Hijab. He did a lecture on Dawah. And then I saw a 2.5-hour lecture just on Dawah on October of 2019. The very thing he's claiming that supposedly Dan Brubaker does, which he doesn't at all. I don't see anything in any of his videos that he's put up on Early Qur'an or this book that he's written that has anything to do with evangelism or bringing people back to God or talking about the gospel. He is only engaging with corrections in early Quranic manuscripts. Nothing more, nothing less. Oh, I love that. And this idea, therefore, that if anything, I would suggest this accusation could be leveled right back at Yasir Qadhi. This is his problem. He engages with dawah. He uses it as a means to bring people back to Islam. So please, 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 if you're gonna make these type of accusations, look at a mirror. Much of what you're accusing Daniel of is very much what he himself has done. There was two other things that I wanted to bring up that Dan did not respond to, and I wish he would have. So I'm going to respond to it. One is his accusation against Dan in the meltdown that he had on there in Thanksgiving concerning his university, the university where he got his PhD, Rice University. And he made the comment there that why in the world should we respect anybody who has a degree from Rice University? Now, Dan did say, listen, this has, look at the people that he had his degree from. Look who he got his material from. And he talked about his supervisors. But more than that, if this is going to be something that Muslims are going to make, then that would suggest to me that any time a Muslim attacks my Bible or the person of Jesus Christ, I'm going to ask them, have you gone to a seminary before you have attacked it? Do you have a degree from one of our Christian seminaries? Would we demand that? No, we would not think of doing that. I would suggest that actually, or institutions like Rice University and Yale University, where Yasir Qadhi got his PhD, talk about contradictions. He got his own degree in Islamics in the Quran at Yale University. The very thing that he is accusing Dan of, he has done himself. Are we seeing the same thing over and over again? That he's looking at a mirror and is seeing what he doesn't like about himself, and therefore he attacks Dan on this level. And I'm going to be doing another talk probably tomorrow on this. What is the problem and what is going on here when Muslims, their knee-jerk reaction whenever somebody criticizes their book or their man, the Quran or Muhammad, immediately the first question I say is, do they know Arabic? Well, that's been pretty well answered by Daniel. He knows Arabic perfectly well, certainly in this area. And the other thing is, where is their background? What do they know anything about Islam? Well, almost all of us who have been confronting Islam have spent years studying Islam. What do you think I've been doing? I've been doing it for 38 years. I have a doctorate in this area. To suggest that, therefore, we don't know what we're talking about, I would be careful, because many of us have engaged in these kind of debates and these kind of studies for year after year after year. One other thing that Dan didn't talk about, and I wish he would, and that is this error that Yasir Qadhi made in the Meltdown concerning the 10,000 manuscripts that he has studied. And I don't think Dan really picked up on that. And he laughed and really ridiculed Dan for suggesting that he could have studied 10,000 manuscripts. Nowhere has Dan ever made that claim. He has talked about 10,000 folios, 10,000 pages, front and back. That's what he studied. He just kind of brought that up as a side point in this response. I hope you're all picking that up. This is the kind of sloppy research on people that people like Yasir Qadhi can do quite easily, and I can understand it. When you attack somebody, make sure you get your material right. Dan Brubaker has never studied 10,000 manuscripts. There are not 10,000 manuscripts that early to study. That's one of the big problems we've been talking about. Biblical manuscripts, yeah, they are in the tens of thousands, 24,000 that we can look at, but not Quranic manuscripts that are early. And that's why when you're going to quote somebody and attack them on something they have said, make sure you do it correctly. He has studied 10,000 folios, which are pages. That makes more sense, and that is exactly what he did. I want to end there because I don't want to go much further. I want to keep it to 10 minutes, but I want to end in this. Just look at the tone of the letter that Yasir Qadhi responded to, and look at the tone of Daniel. And you ask, who do you think is really telling the truth here? Would you rather respect more, Dan Brubaker or Yasir Qadhi? For someone to involve himself in so much vitriol against a person, throw aspersions against them like this, suggests to me that either Yasir Qadhi just doesn't know Dan very well, or he has an agenda. And to be agenda-driven, I would suggest it's Yasir Qadhi's problem, not Dan's. Okay? All right. This is Jay then. Over now.